My name is Laura Greising. I'm a realtor with Moreland Properties, and I live in Terrytown, which is very central Austin, Texas. How long have I been a HomePoint member? I joined in the beginning. I've been a member since the end of 2020. Why did I become a HomePoint member? I am a realtor and I have 3 kids, and I'm a big believer in outsourcing. So I wanted to become a HomePoint member to get some assistance in running the day-to-day maintenance of my home. I saw the HomePoint cars and the sign outside his house, and I remember Googling it and wondering what it was. So I looked into it and decided to hire them. What has HomePoint done to give me peace of mind with my home? HomePoint has given me peace of mind just knowing that you all are going to pay quarterly visits to my home to do things that I don't want to do, like changing filters and changing dishwasher filters, and also gives me peace of mind because when there's a problem, I can just send a text message to Chris, who is my wonderful HomePoint manager, and I know that he is going to get me the best possible price and fix the problem in the shortest amount of time. If a friend wanted to join HomePoint, I would highlight to them, again, just the peace of mind. There are things that maybe aren't the best use of our time as people, working parents. I recommend HomePoint to all of my clients. I can assure my clients and my friends that HomePoint's pricing is better than anybody. There are certain projects I've taken on myself in the home and gotten multiple quotes from different vendors. HomePoint always has the best relationships, the best pricing, and the best vendors to get things done in a timely manner. So can't recommend them enough. I actually worked in property management before becoming a realtor, so I have, experience working with different vendors, getting multiple quotes to get things repaired, and I can speak from experience that I have worked with multiple vendors in Austin where things have not been completed or pricing has been dishonest, and then bringing HomePoint in, just been really pleased with the pricing and just, the honest work that's been completed. The follow-up, vendors and HomePoint always makes a visit post job completion to make sure everything was done to my satisfaction. It's just a matter of, what's worth your time. I know it's not worth my time right now to be taking care of this house, and I just couldn't feel better about having, Chris and the entire HomePoint team on board to help me with that. Yeah, so some specific examples where HomePoint really came to the rescue was recently there's a big storm in Austin, and our neighbor's tree fell over our fence and onto our pool. I texted Chris, I think at 6 in the morning. He replied immediately, took pictures, told him what happened. He had a tree crew out here maybe 3 hours later, cleaned up the entire mess, took care of everything. We were actually leaving for out of town that day, so I couldn't be here, but I knew that, Chris would get the job done. I was not expecting it to be 3 hours later. By the time we were taking off on our flight, it was completely cleaned up, so that was amazing. We did have an experience with mold remediation in this house. We moved into this house May of 23, and I hired somebody to wallpaper my daughter's ceiling, and he took the vent grates off of the vent and noticed it was covered with black mold. So sure enough, called Chris. He brought a mold testing company out to test the entire house. We discovered pretty extensive mold problem. So even realtors miss these things in inspections. I've learned to just never be surprised in this business, but we planned to take care of the whole problem while we were out of town last summer. And Chris managed and handled the entire thing. He brought out, to my request, multiple vendors to get pricing for mold remediation. Sure enough, HomePoint's partner company was the cheapest, and not only the cheapest, but the best by far. So they took care of it in about 7 days. He made sure the painters came, repaired everything so it looked good as new, and we came home to a mold-free house. So that was really incredible. I've had multiple mold experiences. One was without HomePoint and one was with HomePoint. And the time that I did not have HomePoint to advise me throughout the process, I met with probably 6 or 7 mold remediation companies, each one telling me that I had to have a certain licensing company to test the mold, a certain licensing company to come up with a mold protocol, and then another licensing company to actually do the remediation. And I just felt like I was being taken advantage of and wasn't really sure, Googling wasn't helping, wasn't really sure what to do. So I, made my best judgment. But this time around, having HomePoint, they took care of it with one vendor, which was amazing. It really didn't feel stressful at all. I'm learning that there's mold in our environment. These things are really common, especially, working as a realtor. They pop up often. It's now something I've added to the repertoire of, when you do an inspection in a house, getting that checked. Very important because it can obviously be, a costly thing to miss, which I now know firsthand, but luckily not as costly as it would have been had I not had HomePoint with me along the way. Anything memorable that comes to mind? I would just say, whenever Chris is here paying a visit for whatever reason, I do feel like, his head's on a swivel. He's always kind of looking around for things to help me with. There have been a few times where he's brought up things that he's noticed at the house, and he's like, hey, you should get this checked out. I've got a company who can check it out for you. Or, renovation projects. There are a few things we want to do to this house. He's been super helpful, giving me names of vendors and getting pricing and advising on kind of scope and all that. So really, he is holistically, a partner, but a friend, and just really been an amazing help to my life and reduced a lot of outside stressors that would have, been present without him. So.